Hello, this is the video for section 1.4, part 2. So far we've talked about systematic sampling, and now we're going to look at stratified sampling methods. Now we want to talk about stratified sampling, and unfortunately stratified and systematic sampling both start with an S, and these two end up getting confused just because they have that same first letter. But think about this root word that is in stratified, and the word strata is plural for stratum, but stratified rocks, or the strata of rocks, just means that there's layers of different rocks. Another word or another definition that you can do for strata is just the levels or classes that you're sorted into. So it could be gender, it could be age groups, based on any age group that you want to define. It could be ethnicity. It could be whether you've completed your first year student with no hours completed, you've completed 12 hours, you've completed 24 hours. That could be our different groupings or strata. So stratified sampling is setting people into groups first, and then we will randomly choose from those groups. So our definition that we have here: subdivide the population into at least 2 different subgroups that share the same characteristics, then draw a sample from each subgroup or stratum. So in this case, apparently they're taking 3 out of 4 in both. That's a lot. That's a kind of an odd little picture, but it came out of one of our textbooks. Here's another one. So here we've got our teal people on the left. There are 6 of them, and then we have 9 blue people on the right, and we take 2 out of the 6 and 3 out of the 9. So usually when we do stratified sampling, we also do proportional. We want it to be representative of the population. And of course, this is something that rarely happens well unless you're extremely particular when you select a sample. But they try when they do polling for elections. We've got one of those coming up in November. They say they try, or they try. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to say that I don't know that it always happens. On purpose or not, we're not going to get into that part of this of the discussion in this class. But the goal is for when they poll an area and they ask them, who did you vote for? Then or who are you going to vote for? Whatever the question may be. They're supposed to get a sample that, if the area is, 60% registered with one political party, and I'm not even going to name 60% to one or the other. We're just going to say 60% to one party, 35% to the other major party, and then 5% either independent or registered with a different party, or just not selected one way or the other. Whatever the case may be, then supposedly that sample should also have, if they select 100 people, then 60 of those people should be registered as that first political party, 35% should be registered as the second political party, and then 5 of those people should be registered or not registered under a certain party, or a registered independent. So that would be the goal of stratified sampling. Whether or not we meet that goal every time, I will leave up to you guys. So let's take a look. So I took the same people in the last example that I had, and I sorted them out, and I put them into groups based on their chosen shirt color. So if you are not seeing the colors the way I mean for you to, there should be blue shirts on top, green shirts second, pink shirts on the third row, and then red shirts. Poor guys probably won't make it. Star Trek reference, sorry. Red shirts on the bottom row. And so what we're going to do, since we have an equal number of each of these, is I would like to just choose one person from each group. I'm going to get a sample of size 4. So let's see here, n equals 4. And I'm going to randomly select, so I'm going to set my random number generator to be from 1 to 3, because each group has 3 people, and I've labeled them each 1 through 3. And so in my first group, I got a 2. So that's going to be this lovely person with the bow tie. Oh, bow tie. I like the bow tie. There we go. That's okay. So we've got our first person. And then in the next group, it's going to be number 3. There we go. In the pink group, group 3, we're going to choose number 1. She's going to get a haircut too. And then in our last group, number 3. So there is my sample from Stratified. I took one of each. So randomly select one from each. And I get this lovely sample here. So if we had a similar situation where we have 3 people who have a blue shirt, 3 people who have a green shirt, and then 6 people who are wearing a pink shirt, and for whatever reason that's the way I want to group each of these people, then I would actually want to randomly select one person from the blue group. So again, 1 through 3, I'm going to randomly select this time 1. And so he might end up with a little bit of a haircut too when I pull him over here. So there's one person from the blue group. Then we're going to select number 2 from the green group. Again, randomly selecting. I've got my Google random number generator going. But then I need to select 2 people from the pink shirt group. So I need to change my random number generator to be any number between 1 and 6. And I'm going to select 2. And of course, I don't want to select the same number twice. So if for some reason, sometimes you'll randomly generate a number, and you end up with the same number multiple times. So the first one I get is 5. So we'll put him over here in our group, and then randomly generate 4. Let's see. There we go. So he lost part of his shoulder. But see, we now still have, as far as representation, we have 25% are blue, 25% are green, and then 50% are wearing a pink shirt. So we still have that representation that we would want to see, equal representation among our different groups. So hopefully that helps you understand the idea of stratified sampling.